Time for a feature preview with the Volatus application framework, and now it's turning into a full-fledged application and very nearly test system. So I have been working on configurability and streamlining system setup and all of that, and I'm about to start on configuration editors that are going to be, well, configuration editor. I don't know why I would make multiple, but just trying to come up with a way to make it web-based and run in a browser. I don't want it running from a controller that might be driving a test system, but I do want it to be a web-based app, just for the flexibility in creating dynamic GUIs and the dynamic layouts and pluggable configuration panels, all the fun stuff you might want in something that is akin to Macs, but for data acquisition and control. So I've got a CRIO on the network here. I'm gonna log in with the super secret password. And I've already transferred this over. So there's this IPK for this. So I'm going to get that installed. And for now, I need to make a couple of folders manually, just so I can set the permissions because the application itself doesn't do that. Eventually, what I'll do is get a script that runs post install on the package. But I'm going to make a Volatus folder. I've already got a Volatus. Oh, it did make it. Look at that. I must have. Oh, I already stole. I already set ownership of this folder, so it had permissions to make this stuff. Oh, well, okay. Well, it appears to be running already. So let me try refreshing this page. So the system is unconfigured. Normally they're in the config folder. There would need to be an INI file and a VJSON file. V just Volatus JSON, which describes the test system. Volatus JSON files have an entire test system, including all applications and things that might be running that want to leverage knowing what channels are available ahead of time, what other applications there are in the system, all the stuff that makes communication and proper error checking and reporting easier to do and possible. So there's no configuration here. So it booted up the application started up in an unconfigured state and allows me to upload a JSON file, the VJSON file. So if I had that, I could do that. Right now, manually enter the system cluster and node name, but eventually I'd be able to have the browser look at the JSON file, figure out what the system name is, because there's only one system per JSON file, what the available cluster options are if you are using multiple clusters. If there's only one cluster, it could just pick that cluster. And then node could be a drop down of the configured nodes in there. And these are the three things and the path for the config that go in that INI file, which it uses to know which configuration file to open, and then which node it is inside of that configuration file. But we can do some other stuff like get the debug log, see the information, see the, oh, I don't have the app build in here yet, but be able to see what version the app is once I finish that implementation. I got to fix up some of the system introspection on CRIO. It's supposed to have like the IP address and serial number as part of this node name in the unconfigured state. But this is available. Even when the application isn't in an unconfigured state, you could come to this URL and grab the debug log. But the other fun thing is, actually, I'm going to very quickly take all of these CRIO modules out. I've got a handful. I've got a 9425, 9205, another 9205. Whole let go. Another 9205. 9403. And another 9403. So I am holding these in my hand right now. It's actually going to show these because it doesn't refresh until these are until you tell it to. But I can explicitly tell it to, and this might be done from a web-based configuration tool that you're trying to create a configuration from. You tell it, hey, refresh what modules are in that CRIO. And then you could configure the IO channels and what tasks and data rates and all that stuff you want to do, which none of that exists yet. But this is the starting point for making that possible. So right now the chassis is empty. I'm going to start throwing these modules in random locations. So I just plugged 4 in and refresh, and these are the 4 modules I've plugged in. I'll plug in the other 2 I have. Refresh again. And so now I can see all of the modules that I plugged in, what their serial numbers are, all of that fun stuff. So this can be used from a web app running from another server. You tell it, hey, here's the IP address of my CRIO, and then that web application would be able to use these URLs to get information about the system. And just as time goes on, more of these features will show up, be able to report what the deployed application version is, if there's configurations on the system, what configs are available and what versions of configs, all sorts of fun stuff that's going to make building tooling possible for this application stack.